Warzone news just got a whole lot crazier. Now, I just got off a call with the Call of Duty developers regarding the new game, and I have a ton of stuff to share with you guys. Now, before we get into all that news, I'm going to quickly shout out the sponsor of today's video, Scuff Gaming. Now, in case you guys don't know, Scuff just released the new Envision Pro controller, and it's absolutely insane. So this is Scuff's first ever PC-only controller, and my version is now out. Now, if you guys have ever shopped for new controllers, you know they are absolutely crazy expensive, and this is actually the cheapest Scuff you can get, and it comes with 4 paddles on the back, 2 side sax buttons, and 5 macro keys, which you can map to anything. Now, this can mean muting in Discord, pausing and stopping your music, clipping things. It comes with an array of ways to customize your controller. It's absolutely insane. So the JoeWo version of the Envision Pro is a limited supply, so make sure you pick this controller up ASAP in the link in the description down below. All right, so let's get straight into the news that you guys and myself have been waiting for a very, very long time. Like I said, I just got off a call this morning with the developers of Warzone, and they just threw a ton of information at us, and I am going to share it with you guys. So to start off with, the map is going to be based with 100 players, and I know a lot of people think that is an L. I would personally like to see 150, but there's a couple factors that I didn't know. First of all, this map is actually 20% smaller than Al Mazrah, which it didn't seem like that playing it, but I only got to play a couple maps. Then obviously zombies and stuff, but it's actually 20% smaller than Al Mazrah. The other plus is that all squad sizes will be available all season long, so solos, duos, trios, and quads will be available for the whole season, which is a great improvement from Warzone 2, where they would just randomly throw in like, oh, you can play solos on certain days or certain seasons. Like, that was just super cheesy, and I'm glad that they actually changed back to the old model where you have all of these options all the time. The other thing was that they actually changed the circle timings, meaning that matches will actually be a lot shorter and will be only around 20 minutes long. Now, obviously, resurgence modes around like 10-ish, sometimes 12 or so minutes a game, but now for a big map, it's going to be around 20 minutes. Meaning that they've changed these circle timers to be faster, so I'm assuming those mid-game engagements and stuff will feel a lot faster, and the kind of problem of only 100 players won't really feel like there's only 100 players because of some of the quality of life changes like redeploy tokens, gulag entries, things like that. I have a feeling that it's going to feel like a lot more than 100 players. Obviously, at the start of the game, we're going to all be learning the map and stuff, so we'll see how it plays out. They did say that they are very open to feedback on all this stuff, so if season 1 or half of the season doesn't play good with 100 players, they could up it to 120 or even 150 based on player feedback. But I honestly feel with a 100 player start, it's not that big of a deal because we have all of these quality of life changes coming from the old games. The other thing that obviously will promote engagement is with unsuppressed weapons. There will be red dots on the minimap, so obviously we'll be seeing a lot more players on minimaps. Then obviously with big game bounties, if you choose to do those contracts, you get an advanced UAV to find more players. So I feel like you're going to still be finding a ton of players where it's not going to feel like there's only 100 people. So the next thing that I feel like all of us are going to be very, very happy about is all stats are resetting going into Uzbekistan, or however you say. You guys roast me in the comments. Warzone 3, all right? So all stats will be resetting, whether that's normal, battle royale, plunder, or resurgence. So meaning that basically if you think that you haven't improved or you think that this new game is kind of a fresh start for you, you're right, all stats will be resetting. Obviously, in the future, you guys know how I feel about kind of stats and stat tracking. KD, in my opinion, is not a true reflection of skill, which I will be showing you guys that and showing you guys how to improve, obviously, with movement guides, tips and tricks, aiming guides, all that stuff when Warzone comes out. So make sure that you're subscribed down below for all of that stuff. But yes, all stats, wins, KD, everything will be resetting for the new game and the new map. So they also threw a list of new quality of life changes and old ones which are going to be returning for the new Warzone. Now, I really did try to be a good content creator here and just talk to the camera and get all of these memorized, but there's so many of them, it's impossible, so I'm just going to read them off from my phone. And I'm not even kidding you guys, this list is absolutely absurd, which is a good thing because that means that good things are coming to Warzone. Allow me to start. The OG loot crate model has returned, which is amazing. Allied loot crates now have an in-world highlight, which is going to be very, very good. Gas mask is now the first item in the Warzone UI. That's going to be incredible as you have your toggle to manually have it on and off. Now, the Gulag entry kits can now be stowed in a backpack for a teammate. That's obviously a positive. If you still have your Gulag and your teammate just died and comes back, you can obviously drop that for them so then they can go to theirs again if they die, knowing that you still have yours. There is now increased Gulag entry kit drop rate in loot. So that means obviously that it will be much harder to find, which is great. Backpack to loadout auto equipped of items. So that means if you pop a UAV and you have another one in your backpack, it's going to auto equipped. That's just a great change. It should have already been in the game. Amazing. We love that. Now the enemy ping shows in kill cams. We love that change. There's so many times like, how did he know I was there? You will actually see the enemy ping in a UAV or if they have one popped or something like that. So you'll know that they knew that you were there. So one of the biggest changes you guys are going to be very excited about, one-shot snipers are returning to Warzone. We don't know much more information about that yet, whether that's ammo, certain guns. I'm assuming it's gun specific. We'll see how that goes, but yes, one-shot snipers are returning. There will be no weapon tuning in the gunsmith at all. An absolutely amazing, amazing change. I personally wouldn't have minded tuning if it actually worked, but tuning served absolutely no purpose in Warzone 2. And what I mean by that is basically if you tuned your gun to be super strafey, it wasn't strafey, or if you tuned it to be very, very stable, it wasn't very, very stable. I wouldn't have minded gun tuning to really have like personalized weapons if the tuning actually worked, where say I tuned it to be super strafey, it wouldn't be very stable at all, but it would be strafey. But again, it didn't ever work like that, and I'm glad they're just taking away and going away from tuning altogether. So buy stations will now be accessible 30 meters into the gas. That was obviously a big problem in Warzone 2. If the gas touched a buy station, it would then close. This is now amazing because now you can make plays with your gas mask, go buy things, res teammates if there's buy stations that are in the storm up to 30 meters. Great change. Also, buy stations will now show on your TAC map if they are available and then slowly fade away if they are not. So again, you will know on your TAC map if somebody can res. There's no more arguing with teammates like, yo, res me, like, can I res you? I don't know, and then you die because of that. You will see it on your TAC map as well as your teammates if you can go in the gas and actually buy them. A great change is also the slide distance is now increased by the slope incline. So basically, if there is a higher sloped hill, you could actually slide farther down the hill. Obviously a great change. It works in games like that, like Apex Legends and things like that. Amazing, amazing quality of life change. When there's a fire sale, it will be a discounted prices of 50% off. And also they have nerfed smoke grenades by 20%, which personally, I think that's a great change because most of the time people only use smoke grenades all of Warzone 2. So now stuns, flashes, gas grenades, stims again with stim boosting. Many things will become a factor in your tacticals and lethals and not just smoke grenades. One of my favorite changes is armor boxes and ammo boxes no longer have a delay when they're deployed on the ground. As we know, as you throw down an armor box or something, it takes a second to like open up. You have to put in a key, lock and key. It takes time for no reason. Now you just throw it down, grab plates, and you're good to go. Same thing for an ammo box. So now a loadout will cost $15,000, I'm assuming in quads, and not $20,000, which was just absurdly expensive. And loadout cost scales are based on squad size. So I'm assuming it'll be $15,000 for quads, around $12,000 for trios. I'm assuming $10,000 for duos and $8,000 or $7,000 for solos. My math may be a little bit off there, but loadouts are cheaper. But as we know, there's strongholds on the map. Now, if you leave a stronghold, it will neutralize the stronghold, meaning you will know if somebody is camping a stronghold because it will not be neutralized and you can actually then go recapture it. But if it is active, you know there's going to be players there, which is a great, great change. There was nothing like going past a stronghold that you didn't know was a stronghold, team camping on it, and they had a UAV pings on you over and over, but you didn't know that they were there. That's an amazing change that I don't think a lot of people thought about. Stealth Vest also no longer counter advanced UAVs. So if you're a team that is really playing for those big game bounties, have enough money to top 3 UAVs, which are expensive, and get an advanced UAV, it will now show all players, even players that have a stealth vest, which is how it should be. You shouldn't be able to get a stealth vest and then be there's also less extreme default first circles. So obviously, as that first circle starts closing, there's times that it would pull way across the map and be super, super fast. This should now happen less often. One of my absolute favorite quality of life changes is they have now decreased spawn protection time from 10 seconds to 2.5 seconds. So therefore, in normal battle royale, if you are floating from a gulag or from a res, you only have 2.5 seconds to then kind of find where you're gonna land or land on your team. No more floating for 10 seconds where you can be live pinging players for your team or just scouting out information and basically where you're invincible Thanos in the sky. That's not happening anymore. You only have 2.5 seconds. Amazing change. In my opinion, there should be no spawn protection, but we'll take this change because 2.5 seconds is basically nothing. Some people. It's a long time.
What do you mean by that?
The other thing is now there's a reduced slowdown from landing from a jump. So basically, when you're jumping down from a surface, you aren't going to be kind of stuck in quicksand for a second, and the realism aspect of Warzone 2 is thankfully going away. You're just going to be able to hit the ground and keep running like the video game that we're playing. So now in the new Warzone, scavenger contracts are back. One of the greatest contracts of all time, in my opinion, to regain teammates and things like that. They will always have guaranteed plate carriers, which is a great thing. But honestly, I'm just glad that scavenger contracts are back. Most wanted contracts also guarantee a gulag entry kit in the supply box. I think that's a great change. Will make most wanted contracts honestly pretty usable now if you're in trios or quads, because at least one person from your team will then have a gulag entry kit. Who that is will probably be up for debates and arguments. Who thinks that they're going to win the gulag for the team if they die? We'll see, but that's a great change from a most wanted. Once that's completed, you grab the supply box and you get a guaranteed gulag entry kit. Another great change is the input delay when getting in a vehicle to accelerate has now been reduced by 50%. Again, we're not hopping in a freaking tank over here. I want to hop in a Hellcat. We're hopping in the Hellcat and we're just going. All right. So now it's 50% reduced. So that means the time to accelerate and start the car moving has been reduced by 50%. Amazing, amazing change. It's not going to be like you're stuck in quicksand trying to drive, put the car in first, clutch, all that. No more of that. You're just going to get going and get moving. Great changes. So I know that I just absolutely yapped your guys' ear off, but again, make sure that you guys are subscribed down below. Like today's video, let me know what you think of all the news today. I'm personally absolutely stoked of the new Warzone. Last year of Warzone, let's just pretend that it didn't even happen. We just woke up. There's a new game dropping. We're excited, but honestly, with all this news, I actually am very, very stoked to play the new game and have an actual skill gap in the game. And I know a lot of people are going to be angry about that, but that's why I'm here to teach you guys a lot about the game, because I know that with a skill gap comes me, where I can actually teach you guys new movement, aiming guides, things like that. And honestly, that's where a lot of people love it, where you have a reason to play and have a reason to grind to see yourself get better. I'm excited for that. Wednesday is going to be a huge day. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm going to be reading and responding to a ton of comments. I love you guys as always. Let me know what you think. Peace.